Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside of Genie, where we will be looking at the race meeting from Scottsville today, the 14th of February. This preview is sponsored by Northwest Online Bloodstock. Northwest on Bloodstock can assist you to become a racehorse owner for a little bit of money. If you want to subscribe to this video, just click on the subscribe now button, ring the bell, and you'll be notified every time that we post a video. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, and 0835855133. Then we have a special offer for you if you want to subscribe to our daily analysis. If you subscribe now till the end of February, it will cost you 200 Rand. And the autumn season has started in Gauteng, and on major race days, the videos preview and selections will only be available to subscribers. So don't miss out. Subscribe to our special package, 3 months, February, March, and April. Okay, the price has come down a little bit. It's now 800 Rand, and we're already halfway down the line in February. You can WhatsApp me 083-585-5133 to arrange your package. If you subscribe, you get race by race selection, outright winner, and 2 possible outsider selections. 2 daily recommended all-to-come doubles, value bets to play each way normally, 61 and longer. Best bet of the day, please. And we don't give you any best bets, 8 to 1, 8 to 10, even money. Yesterday, our best bet in Cape Town won at 5 to 2 on its coconut. Vikram came home smoking a pipe. We also now give you, we used to only give you trifecta and quadretta, we give you also exactas now. Yesterday in Cape Town, we gave you exacta, and I'll show it to you now, paid 144 Rand. And then we also give you affordable PAs and big sixes, which you can play as is or add on or use some of those numbers. If you do use our services, this is how you'll receive the selections. You'll receive this via a WhatsApp group that I'll post the selections on. We also give you all to come doubles, your selection race by race. We even give you the race time so that you can see by what time you must play your selection, best bet of the day, daily value bets, your pick six, and your PA selections. Okay, so now let's move on to the racing. Now, before we go on with the racing, there's just a few things I quickly want to discuss with you, I think of interest for you to take note of. Yesterday at Turfontein, there's 1 or 2 things I would like to point out to you. Let me just get this thing lined up. It's all lined up, but now, as always, this thing needs to spool again. You know, sometimes I really, guys, if you want to donate me a new laptop, please feel free. Now, there's just one thing I want to share with you. In the second lot, in race number 9, I did mention that I don't think Zimbabwe is a banker, and I was proved right. The Celestial Love won the race, but a shocker in that race was number 9, Roxana. And for me, guys, this is just the way the nature of racing is. I mean, that horse was 100 to 1. If you have a look here, I made the calculations. This horse was out 11 kilograms with number 1, Zimbabwe, or whatever the name is. You can have a look here. Zimbabwe was carrying 60 kilograms. There is the best weighted handicap in the race. Oh, damn it, come on. Was Zimbabwe, but I did say Celestial Love to turn it out of 3 kilogram. But you can see, I mean, this horse was way out in the in on weights. But that's just how we now. We all sometimes say graduation plates. Like on Friday, there was a graduation plate, and the first 2 horses ran last and second last, and the 3 horses that was worst out on the horse that was the worst out on the weights managed to win the race. And also on first day at Turpentine, a horse called Netta, who was also running graduation plate out of the weights, and he won the race. So it just proves to you how difficult sometimes it is. I mean, here you have a horse, 18 runs, 1 win, and a 4th, running against some top horses and running second. This horse was leading, was only caught late by the winner anyway. So But yeah, that is just the nature of racing. And then I want to move to Cape Town tomorrow, yesterday, and I had a few people asking me, how the hell did I get Zip at 50-1 and path of choice? And that was my two selections in that race. I had the scratch in to win Amigos. And then, I had a look at the form. And the first thing that I caught my eye on Zip was that this horse had 39 runs, six wins and places. And the next thing that caught my eye was Corson. This was 12 runs. He was 50% of the time he was either in a win or in the first three. So then that led me to look at the form, and then we were running here in a average merit rating of class C 78. So then I had a look at Zip, and I saw that he has run against some stronger in position. Look here, 102 Priceless Ruler, 90 Meraki. And then he was running in his class, and then I just saw, in a few runs he went to the front, and I thought maybe with the draw 10 today, I don't think if I was the jockey, you can't go to the front again from draw 10. And I thought maybe if they can just maybe let his horse run on, and it happened exactly like that. The horse run on from the back, and then I favored the path of choice, because path of choice did run on behind that race of Adios Amigos. And since Adios Amigos was then scratching, then I saw also here Ottoman Empire, and look here, a 9-1. This horse ran 1.2 lengths behind Pinkerton. Pinkerton has won since again. And I thought, well, must be the best two horses in the race. But when the scratching come, I got my. Originally, I never even considered Star of South to win, but then because of the scratching, I thought, okay, maybe I'm going to put that as my outright selection with my two outsider selections, 6 and 7, and I should have just stuck with my. I should have made 7 my outright selection, because that was my first choice in the race. But just now, for interest's sake, um, I want to show you something. Then now, I did I did give you the exacta there, and the exacta paid. Sorry, that was the previous race. Race 5. Here we got race 5. The exacta paid 142 rand. I also gave you the trifecta for 60 rand box, 2,788. And then 2 races down the line, I also had Captain Finders, but that wasn't hard to find. I gave you a Victor Vikram, and I said best bet of the day. Horse paid 470 and 250 a place. Where you get tipsters in South Africa that will tip you a 72 horse paying 250 a place as the best bet of the day? They don't have it to pay to keep that. So guys, and then in the address, I also said, yeah, I think number 11 van Gogh should win, but it's not the horse that I would punt. And I did give also Captain's World in my selections. So all in all, we had a good day. And then, sorry, I just want to move up a little bit. And, as I always say to people, it's not always what I tip, it's always what I say. I was very hesitant to race 2 to give this number 1 Queen, but I did put it as my outright selection. But I also said that this horse can't be trusted, and there are other horses that can win the race. And then here in the first race, I was strong on Benjamin. It was a value bet. It still paid 190 a place. It ran second. I thought he had it, but preemptive strike was too good on the day. So all in all, I had a reasonable day in Cape Town, I think. And just to prove you the value of outsider Genie. We don't always give you the winners, but we also can warn you and say, listen, like for instance, in my PI, I had numbers 1 and 4. I didn't bank a number 1 because I was scared of that horse running fourth. I think I was 1 leg out on my PA, if I'm not mistaken. I think which leg was I out with that? Just quickly check here. Race 2, 1 and 4. I had 1 and 4. So 4 and second. Race 3, I had 3 and 8. 3 and 8 first and second. Race 4, I had 14 and 5. And there we doubled up. Then race 5, I had 2 and 7, and there the 7 came in. Then I had 1 and 7, so the 7 came in there. Then I had the 5. Yeah, this is here. Why didn't I put in the number 1 horse? I put in the 5. I don't know why I did that. Oh, because that was the favorite. So if I just stuck with my original selection there with number 1, I had a 1 and a 5, and then I banked it a 5. I thought at least that would run a place. And in the last race, I had 11 and 7. So there I doubled up. I would have had it 4 times if I just had it in and paid 91 Rand. All right, but now that's the past. So let's move on to the future. I just wanted to share a few of those things with you. Yes, just to show you, all about. So let's go back to Scottsville, where we are racing today. Let me just move this up. And let's go and have a look at the first race. Now, the first race is always a maiden plate. So for juveniles, well, is a juveniles a maiden plate today? And I'm not going to do any selections on there, but it does look like in that race, like the number 10 horse is the obvious selection there. And that's the first, that is number 10, ridden by Anton Marcus, 2-1, Poppy of Bayes, 33-10, 6-1, Lazuli, Gimme, Lullaby, 7-1, Sea Cruise, 8-1, 12-1, Red Jupiter, 16-1, Dance Milford, 20-5-1, and longer. So if there isn't money for some of the other outsiders, I think their number 10 would probably be your winner in this race. So while we're here, let me look at the betting race 2, 19-10. I'm ready. Capriana 4-1, Water Splash 9-2, Flying the Star 7-1, Lasha Star 8-1, Super Leda 12-1, 13-1, Queen Nenza, Hard Bell 17, Spirit of Daha 25-1, Spirit of the Daha, Shigani Dahani 40-1 and longer. The rest. Sorry about that one. So let's move on to race number 2. And let's look here at my selections for race number 2, where my first selection here is number 7. Guys, as usual, what I'm doing is I'm giving you my first selection, my outright winner, and then the horses, my outsider selection, and then I discuss 1 or 2 horses. Otherwise, this movie is going to be too long. So I'm ready. I think I'm ready. Might be ready to win this race. Anton Marcus on board. Guys, there was a time when Anton Marcus couldn't find the winners at closure. But I see, looks like he's turned around and is now finding the winners again. And I think that's good news for the winner, for the Pontus overall. Last week at Scottsville, over 1,000 meters. This horse was going from the start, but just faded out a little bit at the end and started hanging. And but I think today at Scottsville will definitely be hard to beat in this field. And my outsider selections is number 2, Lasha Star. This horse comes from Gauteng. We had run 1 or 2 reasonable races. Last time out running on a 23.8 over the 1160, slow into stride. Just hopefully today this horse won't be slow into stride. But I think Lasha Star definitely a selection that you have to include in all your play. Then number 12 is my other selection, Quinenza. I did tip this last time out, and it was there and thereabouts. But I'm waiting for this horse. I'm sure this horse is going to start showing a little bit more than it's showing currently. Look for Aras on board, do include in all your play. Another horse that we want to quickly have a look at is number 8, Capriana. I think there's also a horse of a chance, has improved last time on Scottsville on the yielding, over 1,200 meters, and can also keep on improving today to be involved when the photos are taken. So let's move on to race number 3. Race number 3 is a Pinnacle Stakes over 1,000 meters, Class A, average merit rate at 96. So here in race number 3, the favorite is number 4, Traces Even Money, 53 to 10, 72 Filippo, Ishana 9 to 2, Diamaso 21 and 53 to 1, and Winter Chill is scratching. Yes, here I'm going to go with the favorite Traces. He is the best handicap in the race, and I do feel a small field. But yeah, they say sometimes the smaller the field, the bigger the upset. But if I look at the form in this race, I think Traces going to be too good in this field. Although this horse has not won on this course, Anton Marcus on board again. Yeah, it looks like Anton Marcus can win the first 3 races. So maybe that might be all to come that you want to take Anton Marcus for the first 3 races. But I do think that this horse is going to be too good. Then Ishana is a horse that you want to include. This horse is also course and distance suited, 4 runs, 1 win, 2 seconds, and a fourth. Getting minus 1.5 is in the handicap and always tries his best, always there and there around. And in this small fields today, can probably make his presence felt. Then we move on to race 4, a maiden plate over 1600 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Yeah, here we have very open betting. 7 legislative dance 5 to 2, dry war 11 to 2, flying pelican 7 to 1, Valencia 7 to 1, secret is ours 8 to 1, 8 to 1 Morse, parallel universe 10 to 1, 12 to 1 Tilleneve, and 20 to 1 and longer the rest. So let's go and have a look at the form. And here my selection is number 5, which is the same colors as the favorite number 7, but it is from different. Oh, it's the same stable as well. Um, Now my selection is number 5, Flying Pelican. This horse improved last time behind the Italian Dynasty, running at 23.9 fastest 400 meters. And you'll see on Scottsville here on the 1900 over the 1600 on the 24th of January, this horse also ran on 23.9. So this horse is going to come from the back running on. But if you have a look at this horse's draws, 10 from 14, 10 from 13, 12 from 13, 13 from 14. That day on Scottsville, when he was running on 23.9, yeah, it was 8 of 11. And here today, now he jumps from draw 5. Surely this is going to help this horse and help the jockey to be better placed. So in this race, my first selection, number 5. For outsider selections, I'm going for number 8, Parallel Universe, Sean Wheel for Dennis Dreyer. This horse also improved last time on the poly, but before that has run on the turf and wasn't too far behind Rainbow Rising and Tree of Knowledge. And I think number 8, Parallel Universe, a horse that can improve. And then another horse that you might want to include is number 9, Secret is Our Dynasty by Misty Spring. Very, very well bred. This horse is starting to show, and maybe a horse that can definitely be involved in the finish here. Number 9, Secret is Ours. Warren Kennedy on board. Also a horse that you can't leave out. Other horses that you want to make have a look at this number 7, Legislate Dance, which is the stablemate Moodley on board. This horse has run a nice race, 2 runs back behind, so smooth. And then on Scottsville over in 1950 was there and thereabouts, but nothing to get excited with. And that's why I'm sticking with the stable companion number 5. So let's move on to race number 5, where there's another maiden plate over 1600 meters. And here we have the betting number 7, Jacob's Ladder. Again, the Falloon colors to the 4 year, 13 to 10. Number 5 to 1, Let's Go Fly. Jack in a Pot, 11 to 2. San City, 11 to 2. Broadway, 11 to 2. Mystery Boy, 9 to 1. Sonia Door, 12 to 1. And 15 to 1. And better the rest. So here in race 5, my first selection is number 2, which is Jack in a Pot. Gavin van Sales stable, Warren Kennedy from draw 2. This horse improved last time out on the poly tremendously, running on well and back, but got fined for crop misuse. But I think today on Scottsville from draw 2, this number 2, Jack in a Pot, definitely a huge runner. Outsider selections I want to look at is number 10, which is Mystery Boy. Also a Gavin van Sale Junior he made, but drawn 10. Did had a nice first run, and then last time out was I think I don't know if he was battled to get going or but he battled to get going. But I think today it can be improved. So definitely a horse that you need to include in all your play. My other outsider selection is number 14, which is Sonia Dor. Sonia Dor has got Lyle Hewitson on the champion jockey, but drawn 14. But I think your horse that if you have a look at his horse constantly, is in the place. And so if you play a quartet or a trifecta, make certain to include number 14, Sonia Dor. And let's have a look at number 6. Sand City, one of your favorites, ran second behind Bohemian Lad sometime after showing some improvement behind Tree of Knowledge. Um, but yeah, it's not like the form jumps out. Do have a chance, number 6, Sand City, but I think we will stick with number 2, Jack in a Pot, to do the business in this race. Then we move on to race number 6. Race number 6 is also a merit at 77 handicap. But before we go that, I just want to quickly touch on our sponsors who's sponsoring this video. Northwest Online Bloodstock. That is a company that I've started. And what I want to do is I want to help people if they want to become a racehorse owner. This week I had people think they need to have a lot of money to buy into a horse, but it's not so. By making use of fractional ownership, we can help people. This week I had a guy who had 10,000 Rand and he managed to buy a 20% share in a horse, a 3-year-old gelding, and the trainer said he's hopeful he's going to win 2 races. So I helped this guy, and the horse has already placed 3 times from 6 races, and I think he is running next week, and I'm sure that this person is going to have his first run as a winner because the horse is ready to win. And the monthly cost for that 20% is only 1,600 Rand. The horse is running in PE, where the trading fees is a little bit later, a little bit lower. And then, guys, if you want to register as an owner, that is a big expense. To register as an owner is just under 5 grand, and to register a company is over 10,000 Rand. But I have that covered. I have set up a company, so you don't have to pay those fees. We register you as a fractional owner, which is much cheaper, and you can still have your name in the race card and be part of a winning team. So if you have any money burning your back pocket and a desire to be a racehorse owner, contact me and I will help you. And I have contact with a few trainers, and they said if I bring in people, they will certainly make a plan for them to buy into horses, not costing an arm and a leg. So let's go back to race number 6 and have a look at the betting. The betting here is as follows. Living Waters 4-1, Mambo Symphony 5-1, Follow My Path 11-2, Roy Psycho 8-1, Rainbow Rising 8-1, Techno Captain 14-1, Master George 16-1, 16-1, and better the rest. Guys, in this race, I think I find us a surety. Just quickly note, we're running here in a D Division 67. Now, I want to scroll down here to horse number 7. Now, horse number 6. Now, horse number 6, Techno Captain, is also a 7-year-old. But the reason that I showed you the Cape Town Zep was also a 7-year-old who has already won 6 races. And guys, if you have a horse that wins 6 races, that horse can't be a slouch. A good horse always keeps his ability. A horse doesn't lose his ability. But sometimes his ability in terms of the class he's running is, in other words, his horse might have ability, but his ability is not running against 92s, but his ability lying and racing against horses in the same ability, like say a C Division 76 or something like that. Now, if you have a look here at Techno Captain, he's raced 20 times for 4 wins, 3 seconds, and 2 fourths. He's never been placed a fourth. So it's 7 out of 20 races, 9 races he was placed. Course and distance, 2 run, 1 second. Now, I said to you, we're running here in a D67. Now look here. C Division 76. Before noon, good horse. Donald McDonald, a good horse, a 76. A 80. He got beaten in an 80 by Monarchy. Matterhorn on the line, okay, he was far behind, but also running in a higher class. Here we have a 91, 5 lengths behind Baby Shoes. Baby Shoes the other day was entered for a giant B mate, but they did withdraw it. 73. So here it ran in a 73, which is still a higher class than is running today, 2.75 behind Teichman, and then 3 lengths behind Galaxy. And last time in an 82, now coming back down to a 67 behind Gentleman's Wager after setting the pace over the 2,000 meters. Okay. So from his 6 runs, he's won 5 on the turf. So he's had quite a number of runs on the poly, but I can tell you at 14-1, this horse certainly is value in terms of each way. I mean, if you have a look at the betting, Techno Captain 14-1 and 56-25. So let's take 56 and divide it by 25. That's 2.2, 22 to 10 on a place. Surely that represents value, and that's why number 6 Techno Captain is my first selection in this race. Then outside the selections, we're looking at number 3, Mambo Symphony, also a 6-year-old, having won 3 races, but did run last time out in a lower division than before, and ran behind Carrari's Cowboy, and Lyle Lewis on board, certainly in with a chance. My other outsider selection is number 8, which is Smart Socks. Now, Smart Socks is always a horse that I've rated. Used to be with Dean Kannemeyer, but I see the horses now being sold to Mr. Harris and with Tini Prinsloo. And also a horse that's been running in a higher division, although last time out running in a 69. But before that, and he's had his wins. He had 4 runs on Scottsville for a win, a second, and a third. Course and distance, 1 run, 1 win. And, you know, sometimes they say, a change is as good as a holiday. So keep your eye out for number 8. Smart Socks can be improved. Here we have number 9, Living Waters. That disappointed last time. Before that, won a 63. So I'm not sure if this horse is ready for this class, but he can win. But I have refrained from today. Here he ran against Black Fox, beating him by 1 length in a maiden. But it hasn't done since. But last time when this race, he won this race. He was weighted to win this race. But I'm not sure about him today, I must admit. But I might be wrong. The other horse that you will need to want to include into your play is number 2, Follow My Path. I believe Chris McRasmus has relocated to Natal, apparently training from Ashburton now. And if you have a look, you'll see this horse ran 2.5 lengths behind second base, and then last time out a nice run behind Spring Fleet. So Follow My Path, do include in all your bets, can certainly be a contender when the photos are taken. So let's move on to race number 7, where we have the Umtumbuti Stakes 1950 Class A, average minute rated 93. Let's have a look at the betting. And here we have number 9, Matterhorn 22 to 10, Shareholder 22 to 10, Marching Together 9 to 2, Black Ball 5 to 1, 12 to 1 favor, Jack's Bird for 14, Fritchie by far 14, Bayview Express, and Coach Approval 100 to 1. Now in this race, my strong selection is number 1, Shareholder. You said here we're running here an average of 91. Shareholder has been running against some strong opposition. I'll show that to you now. So this horse hasn't run over 1950, but if you have a look, this horse do run on at the end. Here it ran second by Native Tongue after beating Native Tongue before, but then there was a weight turnaround in favor of Native Tongue, but was running on fastest 400 to finish. Also, both his last 2 runs, fastest 400 to finish. But then we found this race here over 2,000 meters at Greyville, where he ran 6 behind, got a green light, and that was in a huge race, the Natal Derby, and where the average merit rated was 105. I did pull up this race for you from Form Grid, so let's have a look at this form in this race, won by Got the Green Line. got the green light, went on to ran second in the Durban July. That horse hasn't placed again. But then you have Golden Ducat. Golden Ducat won the Tailwood 1800 meters, and it is a future race contender. Now Shareholder ran 5 lengths behind that, and the weight difference on level weights. There you got Shango. It's not a bad horse either. Wild Coast won a big race just before that. Then we have Shareholder who has won after that. You could have a look at Azores has won, and then 3 Tumbo since this race has won 3 more races. If you scroll, if you go a little bit on, you'll see that Tumbo has won another race the other day. 3 Tumbo. Um, Oh no, sorry, it wasn't. It was placed. So if you can see this, the form is there, and I think that the Shareholder might be too strong for this field today. When I'm looked at the betting before, it was 5-2. I see it's now 22-10. So surely the money is coming. I would suggest, if you listen to this video, start putting on the money. Then outside the selections, I went for number 2, Black Ball, and number 3, Jack's Bird. Now, if you have a look at number 3, Jack's Bird, you'll see here that he's second in the base weighted. Now, Jack's Bird is only carrying 50 kilograms, and won't Jack's Bird hasn't run over this distance well. But looking at the breeding, I don't suggest he'll have a problem. And surely with 50 kilograms on board, he's going to make them run. So that's my take for race number 7. So let's move on to race number 8, where we have a merit rated 78 handicap over 1400 meters, Class D, average merit rated 72. Here the betting is as follows. Number 2, Avenue 3-1, Green Light to Heaven 7-2, High Velocity 7-2, to Tromso 8-1, Serpong 12-1, Tree of Knowledge 15-1, Rockler 15-1, Wunderbar 16-1, 18-1, and better the rest. So here my first selection, race 8, is number 1, Green Light to Heaven. I've been following this horse a little bit, and he's been running against some better opposition here and there. He's now running in a 72, but he has run in 82 native tongue. Now, we just spoke about this native tongue form line in a previous race of Shareholder. So certainly that must put Green Light to Heaven, in the spotlight here from draw 1. And I think number 1, Green Light to Heaven, ready to win a nice race here. Number 2 is the favorite, but yeah, I don't know. Last time out, this horse battled in a 61. Now running again in a higher division, I think is going to find it hard to find a winning enclosure. And my outsider selection in this race is number 7, Tromso. Now, Tromso, I was going to favor number 7, Tromso, but then I realized that this horse hasn't had another runs on the turf, so I'm not sure how he's going to run on the turf. But I'm sure if he fits to the turf, certainly is going to be a contender in this race, so not to be left out. And my other outsider selection is number 12. I don't normally tout a horse, it's just one of Maiden. But if you have a look at this horse, he started over 1200 meters, ran on strongly in his debut run, and then last time out, he just moved up effortlessly under Luke Ferraris, and he won on his coconut. And I think the form out of this race is going to already strong, because if you look there, 9 runners, 3 winners. So certainly that proved that that was a strong field. So number 12, High Velocity, I really think can also be involved in a finish in this race, so not to be left out either. So let's move down to the last race, which is a Maiden Plate over 1200 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is as follows. Number 9, sorry, I just had to grease my throat a bit. The betting is number 6, Final Destiny 4-1, Casimiro 4-1, Cupid Song 11-2, Cauldron 6-1, Trumpet Voluntary 7-1, 10-1 Silver Celebrity, 14-1 Seven Songs, and 16-1 and better the rest. Yeah, for me, when they're back 4-1, the field, that is an open race. So let's have a look. My first selection here is number 5. As I had a look at this, I just felt that this is the best form to go. And again, here the high velocity form comes to the fore. So if that horse runs good, have a good run in a previous race, then certainly you want to be on Cauldron. Warren Kennedy on board, drawn 5. This horse was running on best of all 23.8 last time against a high velocity, and he was shifting around. And I think today, if that horse can put it together, number 5 Cauldron will be very hard to beat in this field. Outside the selections is number 11, Cupid Song, ran second behind Mexican Cat Dance, but already there's 10 runners out of that, but nothing has won. But if you look at the race before, when it ran 3 lengths behind See the Light, already there's 2 winners out of that. And that was also in Scottsville. So I think 11 Cupid's also a serious contender in this field. And my other outsider selection is number 15, Trump and Voluntary, also a horse that has been running a few places over Scottsville. It looks like he liked the Scottsville track, 5 runs, 2 seconds already. He's improving. Aston Harris on board, and I'm sure 15 Trump and Voluntary can make his presence felt. And also have a look at number 9, Casimiro, Paul Lafferty. This horse also ran on from behind, but was getting the jockey allowance now down, but was run on 24.1. So also maybe a horse that you want to consider. But all in all, an open field in the last race, a very open race. But that brings us to the end of my preview. I really hope I could point you in the right direction for a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg.